Welcome to the On the Air podcast, where we explore the cutting edge of technology, innovation, and human impact. Today, we've joined with Nishtha Jain, an award-winning strategist and thought leader in AI, biopharma, and digital health. With over 15 years driving patient-focused innovation, AI-powered transformation across R&D, commercial operation, and medical affairs, Nishtha is shaping up the future of healthcare through bold, human-centric innovation. In her TED Talk, The Digital Drug: Why Social Media Needs Safety Labels, explores how technology, attention, and well-being intersect. A globally recognized visionary, Nishtha bridges bold ideas with real-world impact. So welcome, Nishtha. I'm so excited to have you today.
Thank you for having me, Ulyana. I'm really excited to be here.
Absolutely. And let's dive in. I have so many questions. So I would love to start with the first question: redefine the pharma landscape with AI. You've spent years integrating AI in every part of the pharmaceutical value chain. In your view, which area of healthcare are on the cusp of radical transformation thanks to AI? And what would that mean for patients in the next 12 months?
Thank you for that question. So let me start with everyday impact of AI in healthcare, because that's where most people first experience these changes. So if we think about a typical, say, doctor office visit, one of the biggest shift in how AI is improving those interactions will be traditionally, it's clinician taking the notes, entering the notes, and not looking at you, not engaging directly. So with introduction of AI-powered scribes, now the conversation is automatically captured and organized, allowing physician to give you their full attention, which means face-to-face, deeper interaction, deeper connection, and ultimately better patient experience. And this is the doctor office. Beyond doctor office, AI is expediting how quickly and accurately, different conditions can be diagnosed. For instance, radiologists are now able to use AI to review scans and find critical things. And also it's reducing the administrative side of burden. It's streamlining the approval for procedures, prescriptions, etc. So that's on the healthcare side. But now if we zoom out to biopharma industry, the impact is just as profound, if not more so. AI is fundamentally transforming how we discover, develop, and deliver new medicines. In drug discovery, what once took years of work in laboratory can now be done in months, thanks to the Google algorithm. And AI is now able to identify promising compounds and protein structures. This acceleration means we can potentially move therapies to clinical trials faster. Now, when it comes to clinical trials, AI is making it even easier by matching the right patients to the right studies and helping in the recruitment faster. Something especially, historically, for the communities that are underrepresented, it's getting to them now, which is helping identify those candidates. And finally, on the manufacturing supply side, AI is now predicting demand more accurately and optimizing production, which reduces the shortages. So whether it's patient having more conversations with their doctor, or the breakthrough therapy reaching to the patient faster, the true power of AI is showing up both in these moments. We are noticing something very exciting. So it's an incredibly exciting time for innovation that is directly improving not only individual lives, but future of healthcare as a whole.
No, that's great, Nishtha. What I'm hearing is speed is really increasing on every single aspect of healthcare and pharma. Biopharma has always been such a long process, right? From the idea to really the patient and getting that particular drug released to the bigger audience. I would love to talk a little bit about ethics, impact, and AI decisions. You lead with a simple but profound question, right? Does this help people? And in industries like biopharma, where AI decisions can impact human lives directly, how do you balance speed, innovation, and ethical responsibility?
Sure. So at core of my approach, I always ask this simple question: does this help people? And when it comes to pharma healthcare industry, it becomes the question of, does it help patients? So innovation should never outpace responsibility, especially in biopharma, where decisions are affecting lives. So I guide every initiative with a patient-focused mindset by prioritizing ethical impact. So just to share an example, one pivotal moment came when I was leading a major technology automation project for the previous pharma company that I worked for. Obviously, the conventional thinking and the industry thinking pushed to prioritize speed and cost savings and saying, let's automate this quickly, process. It has to be done end to end. So on paper, it looked brilliant. But when I asked myself, is it actually helping the stakeholders? And then in a broader sense, is it actually helping the patients? The answer was very clear. It was not. It was, we were at risk of optimizing efficiency while eroding trust and empathy. So I challenged the teams to reframe the problem and show the ROI, not just in the saving of the dollar amount, but actually thinking about, obviously it was saving the time, but then thinking of the human experience and saying how it is actually transforming the human experience and reducing stress for the employees, giving them a better experience. So it wasn't an easy path, but it shifted the conversation back in the day. And in the end, that choice led to better decisions and more successful outcomes. So now what I always ask people to think about is when we are thinking of return on investment, to not only think in terms of financial, but to also think in terms of employee experience and what is the return on that and what is the return on the future. Because what we are also doing, we are laying the groundwork for disruptive innovation for the future. So if we are only focused on financially, blindly on the dollar amount, that's not the right essence of how you can measure the innovation.
No, this is great. I think it's so important just to pause and rethink and really think about human aspect of it. And I was really fascinated by your TED Talk. I wanted to talk a little bit about it, the human side of digital innovation. Your TED Talk highlights the intersection of technology and human well-being, right? How do you see AI evolving, not to just solve problems, but really enhance holistic human health and cognitive agency?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. So my TEDx talk emphasized that technology must enhance and actually not diminish human well-being. So AI should evolve as a co-pilot for creativity, mental wellness, and holistic health. Beyond automation, AI has potential to empower cognitive agency and expand what people are capable of. So I want to share this as an example. So take ChatGPT, for example. On one hand, it's extraordinary. We can access information we want, generate ideas, even get emotional support, in seconds. That's so powerful. But like any tool, the value isn't the technology itself, but it's the usage. So if we lean on it for every decision, every thought, we are actually risking and outsourcing our judgment and our cognitive ability. But if we use it as a partner and a thought extender, it can actually sharpen our own clarity and creativity. And that's where the balance comes in. Cognitive agency. So the ability to pause, reflect, and choose intentionally, because AI should expand our options, not narrow them down. It should, reduce the noise, but help us get better. So the evolution I hope for is that AI respects this human attention, supports human growth. And in that frame, hopefully ChatGPT doesn't replace us, but it helps us in reclaiming our focus, our time, deepening understanding and making us smarter humans. So that's my hope with the technology evolution.
No, this is great. And I wanted to ask you if there are specific advice or tools and what helped you to really balance yourself between really being addicted to technology and AI and still staying on a path of creative thinking and thinking that I'm still controlling and I'm balancing between the technology and my own vision.
Yeah, so actually, and I share this in my TED Talk, I share a framework called as PAUSE, where P stands for, practicing mindful tech use, where essentially, we want to always think about before using a technology, whether we are actually wanting to use it or it's just the addiction or we are bored. Because I think what I have personally felt is that it's sometimes okay to be bored. So in my TEDx talk, I share a framework called as PAUSE, where P stands for practice mindful tech use. A stands for, accountability. U stand for understanding the design. stands for setting boundaries, and E stands for embracing connection. So, in summary, how that framework works is that, I have to first think about, why am I going for my phone? Am I reaching for it because of the design or the addiction or the dopamine hit it's giving me? Or am I bored? And if I'm bored, you know what? It's okay. So I think that's the main part, that we have to accept boredom as being a normal thing and not try to fill that boredom. So what has been happening is people fill all our time with the nonsense technology, and they try to consume as much content as possible through the short forms. So I think because of that, there is information overload. So I practice mindful tech use by there are certain tech-free times that I have, which is, during dinner, I don't have my phone nearby. Before sleeping, at least 30 minutes before sleeping, I don't keep my phone nearby. The first thing when I get up in the morning, I do not check my emails or check any apps. I just actually play meditation music. And for first 30 minutes, I try to, relax through that. So I think it's that habit building that everybody needs to be mindful of. And I would say, different people have different jobs. So one person reached out to me and said, oh, my job isn't social media. My job is to manage social media platforms. Now, how do I find my balance? So, for that person, actually going out in the nature and walking might be the answer. Or driving. Actually, sometimes when you go out and drive really for a long time, you actually are disconnected from your phone. So it is trying to find that right pause and trying to find the balance that works best for you. So I feel like I found mine through different, obviously through failures, through burnout, and all of that. But I now try to make it part of my habit.
No, I love it. And I think what you said about boredom, I think in today's world, if we look at boredom as luxury, then I think we will definitely pressure those times where you actually have a minute to pause, think about yourself, think about what you enjoy, and acknowledge the day, right? Instead of actually filling it with some information that is just kind of blocking that particular moment to breathe.
Agree. And boredom actually is the breeding ground for creativity. So we have been trying to outsource our creativity to AI and actually asking ChatGPT to generate ideas for us, but that's not the right way. I think it's okay to get bored, because when we are bored, we will start thinking about new ideas and new things. And I personally think it's very important to find that balance, to maybe use a ChatGPT and AI in the right way, because it's very addictive and it can get you into a deep black hole if you are not cognizant.
For sure, absolutely. I would like to jump back into pharma industry and R&D. It's so notoriously slow and complex, right? How has AI really enabled your teams to accelerate discovery, reduce waste, or even rethink what's possible in the drug development?
Yes. So, I totally agree. Drug development has been really long. It's slow. It's costly. It can take up approximately $2 billion and approximately over a decade for a company to produce drug end to end. AI has drastically accelerated this journey, enabling, different companies. And I do not want to specifically say for my company, but just overall biopharma industry. It has enabled ability to screen countless drug candidates in week instead of years. So just scanning for the initial molecule and the drug candidates, it took multiple years, but now it can be done really fast. It's also able to predict successful compounds, essentially, which is, what are going to be different combinations of these drug molecules. So it's able to predict that and also eliminate waste early. We have seen AI identifying these promising molecules, and automating complex documentation, also speeding up regulatory process. So I think what I am seeing is, at least from the administrative burden, it is making a huge impact, which ends up helping in the documentation and compliance portion. And this is creating huge efficiency. But then I think through this efficiency, what it's actually doing, actually helping the teams to redirect their focus towards more creative breakthroughs, which is, rethinking how we are designing these drugs and how we are developing them. So, ultimately, it's helping in making, new therapies, delivery of new therapies to patients faster. So I would say, there will be significant reduction in the drug development timeline, but it's yet to be realized in the industry because it's very slow moving and very regulated.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now let's talk a little bit about healthcare and the vision for the future. I would love to just look ahead and with your vision, where do you see the most exciting opportunities for AI to create entirely new healthcare experiences, ones that were unimaginable and even 5 years ago, and how the leaders really harness that responsibility and take that and move it forward?
What I want to do. So if we look 5 years back, many of today's realities like, AI drafting these clinical notes in doctor offices, designing proteins for drug molecules would have been a science fiction. This is more in the science world. But if you look at the Waymo, which is self-driving car, and if you have ever tried Apple's new immersive experience through their through their glasses, it's unimaginable. Like what we saw in science fiction, it's actually coming to real. So when I think of, or I look 5 years ahead from now, the most exciting opportunities are in the experiences that fundamentally can reimagine patient journey. So imagine clinical trial would not require a person to leave their home at all. It could be done sitting from home. The other thing that I see could revolutionize is a digital twin technology where the doctor might be able to test out certain things on your digital twin and you may not actually have to step out of your house. And similarly, AI companions actually providing not only mental health support, but kind of companionship and also physically helping you to do different things. And along those lines, think of robotics. I think robotics will be definitely very big. Their surgical robots have been there and they're becoming more and more intelligent. But I also see maybe nurses, instead of nurses delivering medical supplies and care, it could be robots delivering that. And actually, I did hear that during pandemic, a lot of hospitals tried that where they were sending, robots into patients' rooms to avoid infections and also, direct nurses' attention to direct patient care and not in day-to-day things. And I think the other piece, which I think is very, very possible is personalized medicine, which is essentially a medicine designed based on your DNA, your blood group and what you as a person are. So in my view, the most exciting healthcare experiences are definitely ahead, where both AI and robotics will be working hand in hand to, with humans to create the care that feels both smarter and more humane.
No, absolutely. What I'm most excited about is really anti-aging and technology that's rapidly changing, right? I hope I'm still going to be around when reverse aging comes to play and really biohacking and looking into the cells in a particular way that really helps you elongate your life and enjoy it more without having this health chronicle issues and really target that area. So that is what I am most excited about in healthcare.
And red light therapy is huge. I don't know if you have tried that, but it's very hard to see what it's doing, but they say it's changing things at cellular level.
Yes, I have mask at home. I love it. Awesome. Well, it was really amazing conversation. And I just want to thank you for very inspiring talk and getting into the pharma and healthcare. You're the first leader that is sharing some insights on that area. So I hope to see you again, another podcast. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ulyana. Thank you for having me. It was such a wonderful conversation.